up, guys? SuperSceptile11 here, and today we're going to be counting down my top 10 favorite Pokemon. So let's get straight into the video. Now, before we begin, though, I will have to say one thing. It was very hard to choose between just 10 Pokemon, so I do have a few honorable mentions. My honorable mentions are Kyogre, the first Hoenn legendary I have ever encountered, and is just great. First TGC card I've also ever gotten. First TGC EX. Luxray. It's an electric lynx. It's awesome. Kartana, great at competitive. If you guys didn't know, I do battle competitively, and Kartana just sweeps. And it has a great design. Bisharp, great design. Again, great at competitive as well. There's Haxorus, which my first game was Gen 5, and Haxorus is just a beast. Talonflame, he's okay at competitive. I never used a Talonflame, but I hear they're pretty good. And Tapu Koko. My favorite Tapu is Tapu Koko. He's just so fast, electric terrain is good, and yeah. So let's get straight into the video with number 10, Hawlucha. So Hawlucha, I battle with him on my team, Life Orb Hawlucha. Nothing can beat this guy. He has Drain Punch, Brick Break, Thunder Punch, and Fire Punch, which means if someone can't use a punching move, I'm pretty much dead. But he is so good. Life Orb boosts his attack. I have a perfect IV Hawlucha, which is really rare. I have a few really high IVs as well on this list. Like, my second favorite Pokemon is because I trained one that was full IVs. And same with my fourth. But yeah, Hawlucha's on this list because of its competitive prowess, my personal attachment to it, and its design. Moving on to number 9, Chandelure. Now, Chandelure has a great design. I love Gen 5. Gen 5 is like, my first game was Pokemon Black, and look at this thing's design. Best inanimate object Pokemon in all of the games. By far, no competition. And I'm sure many of you guys agree. Its Pokedex entries are pretty creepy, and it's okay at competitive, but I really like this Pokemon, which is why it is number 9. Moving on to number 8, Greninja. Now, Greninja was my Kalos starter Pokemon, and I actually like normal Greninja more than Ash Greninja, because competitive prowess of the two. They're both in the OU tier, but I like this Greninja more because of its Protean ability, which changes its type so it always gets a stab boost, which is amazing, great. I bred for a Protean Greninja, which is amazing. And I just really like this Pokemon. Nothing can compare to it, and that's why it's on this list. Now moving on to number 7. Number 7 is Serperior, which is Snivy was the first Pokemon I ever got. Now, its counterparts from the Unova region, Emboar and Samurott, both almost made this list because I trained in Emboar with Pokerus, because that helped it a lot on my Alpha Sapphire playthrough. Swept all of Steven's Pokemon, except I had one Pokemon help it, which is the number 1 Pokemon. And yeah, it was basically Emboar and the next Pokemon. But Serperior, it was the beast of my team during all of Unova, and it's just a great Pokemon. Sadly, thanks to the anime, I thought Leaf Tornado was great, and since I was like really young when I got Pokemon Black, then that didn't go well. But yeah, so Serperior was my original powerhouse, my first Pokemon, and that's why it's on this list. Sadly, it has fallen down. Number 6, Incineroar. Another starter. I know so many starters are going to be on this list because I am attached to the starters. Incineroar is no exception to this. Now, Incineroar was my Alola starter, and because I love cats, and Litten is just so cool. It's a lit kitten, you know. And I really did not like Poplio. Like, I hated Poplio. And then Rowlet was okay, Decidueye was pretty cool, but I liked Incineroar the most. It's a pretty cool type combination. I would never use it in competitive, but it was the second best Pokemon on my Alola team. I will get to who the best Pokemon is later in the video, but for now, Incineroar is at this spot. Moving on to number 5, halfway through the list, Gallade. Now, I actually trained a Gallade. It had like most IVs perfect except for like its special defense, which didn't matter, and this thing was a Mega Gallade. Okay, so I was using it as a Mega Gallade. It was on my Hawlucha team, but then I decided to start using Mega Metagross, which, understandable, Metagross is pretty cool. So I gave this thing a Choice Scarf, and it wrecked everything in its path. This thing, Hawlucha, and that Metagross were unbeatable. Like, I literally just needed those 3 to win against 6 Pokemon. Now, of course, having a Gallade and a Hawlucha means I have 2 fighting types. I actually had 3 at the end, which wasn't good type coverage, but unless I ran into a Psychic, in which case I had a Dark Pokemon in Bisharp, I'm pretty sure. Well, and that was the type coverage, and I really like Gallade. I've become really attached to it after using one, and it's just a beast of a Pokemon. So that's why it's at number 5. Number 4. Now, number 4 is a Pokemon that I have never used in Noivern, as you've already seen on the screen. Now, Noivern is a Pokemon that I really want to use. I really want to use a Noivern. And I've just never had the chance to train a Noibat all the way up, because in Gen 6 my team was basically already complete by the time you could get a Noibat, unless there's another place you could get a Noibat, in which case I ran out. But I am training up a Noibat at this moment, and when it gets to a Noivern, it has like 4 perfect IVs or something, 4 out of 5, which was great. So once it is a Noivern, I'm definitely going to be using it, which is a problem because then I'm going to have 3 fightings and 2 types, because this thing and that one thing and my second favorite Pokemon are both going to be on this team. So I might rethink the team. I already have been rethinking the team, and I already have a new idea for it. But Noivern for now is at number 4. Now there are going to be a few dragon types in a row. So number 3 is Rayquaza. Rayquaza is just a great legendary, so good. I used to use it in competitive back when it was in Ubers and I did in Uber battles, but then they realized this thing is too good, and they made its own tier for Mega Rayquaza. Let me reiterate that. Rayquaza is so good, they put it in its own tier. When it Mega Evolves, it is literally better than God. Think about that for 1 second. It's better than Mewtwo X and Mewtwo Y because it can hold an item slot. And I also just love Rayquaza. Now, a reason that it's probably more attached is because I knocked out the Deoxys before in Alpha Sapphire, which sucks because I love Deoxys. It was almost made this list. And so the fact that I knocked out the Deoxys in like 1 shot too, it was like not even good. And then the Rayquaza, I got down to so little HP because I forgot to save, so I couldn't get the Deoxys back. And then the Rayquaza was like at 1 HP at the most, at the least I mean, 1 to 3 HP, and I was just freaking out because I thought I knocked it out. So that's probably one of the reasons it's so high, is because of that attachment. Anyways, moving on to number 2. The powerhouse of my Alola team, the powerhouse of my X and Y team, and the best pseudo-legendary Pokemon. Cynthia owns this thing because it's a beast. Garchomp. I love Garchomp. Just like, Garchomp was one of the powerhouses of my X and Y team. Didn't grow as attached to it, but when I got the chance to train a Gibble, someone was going to trade me a level 1 perfect IV Gibble with Pokerus, which, you know, helped it grow because at this time, It was like on the halfway through the first, so a level 1 Pokemon, but it had Pokerus, which, you know, helps it a lot. And Garchomp became the powerhouse of my team, and it's perfect IVs. I still use this one in competitive. The X and Y one isn't so good. Like, the move slot for this thing is perfect. I love this Pokemon. Garchomp is just so good. I will use it in any playthrough I can. I'm going to use it when I play through Diamond. I might play through Diamond on either this channel or on my free time. You will find out if I do later, obviously. But yeah, that's why Garchomp is at number 2. And number 1, my favorite Pokemon of all time. The powerhouse of my Hoenn team, and basically every other thing, that Pokemon is Vanilluxe. Vanilluxe is just such a good Pokemon. I got it. I'm just messing with you guys. Number 1, as you guessed, is Sceptile. I love Sceptile. Sceptile is a beast. I have Scout the Sceptile in the Ruby playthrough that I'm doing on this channel. I have a Sceptile in the Emerald playthrough I'm doing on my free time. And I got a Sceptile on my Alpha Sapphire. Now, Sceptile is a beast. I love its Mega. I know it's not competitively viable, but I don't really care about that. It's awesome. I love Ash's Sceptile. The promos for Alpha Sapphire, Mega Ruby, Brendan's Sceptile is hilarious. I just really like Sceptile, and that's why it's number 1 on this list. Anyways, what do you guys think about this video? Share your favorite Pokemon in the comments below. Anyways, I will see you in the next video. Bye!